Dear viewers, we welcome you to Leadership Conversation with Modede. As you know, my name is Modede. I'm the CEO of Flying Eye Consulting Limited, which is a leadership development organization. And today I'm taking, questions from different, parts of the world on the topic of leadership. And I hope, we'll surely be enlightened by some of the things that will come out and get some knowledge and some ideas about why the things that we're seeing in our world are the way they are. Thank you very much. How can governments in the third world introduce the subject of leadership to their countries? I think really what the third world should be doing right now, and by the way, before I answer that, can I say this? The only world left is the third world. And I want to speak in the context of Africa. All the focus is on Africa right now. And I think if Africa begins to appreciate that fact that everyone is depending and looking towards what's going to happen in Africa, then the governments in Africa or the leadership in the governments in Africa should begin to make the subject of leadership part of the curriculum in every school. There should be mentorship program put in place, in our schools, in our lower schools, in our high schools, in our universities. It is so sad that the fact that somebody has a degree doesn't mean that they're educated for life. In fact, when you study the word education, the word education is from a Latin word called educare, and it's meant to bring forth. That means education is supposed to enhance what is already inside of you. That means we are supposed to educate our purpose. But today, the quality of education we have is nothing to write home about, that people are just given an education that they can't even use in their society. But the education on leadership actually provokes you to develop the person or the gift that is inside of you. So I believe strongly that we should have mentorship programs by organizations that the government will fund, or it could be organizations from the outside, or they could be internal or external bodies that come and deliver those programs within the context of our schools today. That would be my take on that question. Well, to develop a nation, number one, to develop any nation, any country, and you got to understand there are two things. There are two things that you got to understand. That this is a nation and the country. The country is a property, and the nation is the people. For you to develop your country, you need to develop the nation. How do you develop a nation? You develop a nation by developing their mindset. So every nation really, and in the context of our third world, needs a national reorientation program. Our countries need to reorientate the mindset of the people. That means you need to give them quality information continually that you present in their face, in their minds. It's just like an advertisement. If you continually watch a Coca-Cola advert, every day you will end up drinking Coca-Cola. And that's what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to capture your mind or transform your mind or shaping your mind in a certain way. There's certain information that our nations, our government needs to continue now to project out to the people, to let them understand how we're supposed to live as a people, how we're supposed to relate, how government functions, how people are supposed to do, programs on honesty, on values, on morals, and things like that. So a country needs to have a reorientation or orientation ministry, or so to speak, that helps to orientate the populace about any area or any subject at all that they want to get across or get the attention of the people. So it's something that the government can really do a lot of work, and especially in the political forum in Africa, for example. I take the context of, for example, in Nigeria. I think, for example, in Nigeria needs a major reorientation program. Some other countries need that as well, Zimbabwe, South Africa, and all those places. We need a national reorientation program to educate the minds of the people about their rights as voters. They need to understand that it is not the person that is elected in office that has the power, that the voters are the ones that have the power. What people do not understand, that in a democratic government, the power rests with the people. Whatever the people rise up to do, that is what determines what happens in the nation. And that is why we need leaders again that will not just manipulate that process, bribe or buy people's vote, but people that inspire us, people that are able to paint a picture of a future that is desirable, people that are able to, enhance the value of humans again. That's why we put them in government. People that are ready to serve. They're people not because of what they will get, but because of the impact they're ready to make on the community, on the society, or the nation itself. And I think this is one of the ways that we need to begin to get and rescue our nations again. We need to develop programs within our school system, within the government, the workers, the staff, right from the head down to the bottom. We need to put programs together. Well, the situation in Kenya is pretty interesting. Interestingly, I was in Kenya a few weeks back while this whole campaign and election was going on, and I could feel the tension in the country itself. I was there for just a couple of days, and I could feel the tension in the place. And this is the problem in our nations today in Africa, that people want power at all costs. Because we are having an election, there must not be such tension in the country. By the way, can I chip in this as I answer your question in the midst of all that chaos? We got to understand that a politician is not by default a leader. A politician is not by default a leader. A politician lives to win another election. Hence, there's always tension. Hence, there's always manipulation. Hence, there's always suspicion. While really the democratic system should be a tool where leaders use to transit into a leadership, or use to get into a leadership position where they're ready to serve the people. Now, I said this the other time, that the power is in the hands of the people. Now, if the masses have spoken, now you got to understand sometimes that the fact that we have majority, it doesn't mean that majority is right. However, in politics, majority determines what happens. Now, it's been said that the incumbent, or the current president, had 54 point something percent of the votes, and he became the winner of the system. And I believe there was a whole lot of people looking at this election going on as well. And I'm not sure there's been any. I can't really give you the facts there, but it's not been reported. That there's been any major issue regarding that election. However, you got to study Kenya very well as well. That Kenya works with a lot of what you call ethnicity as well. The ethnicity determines, once you're able to command the major ethnicity towards yourself in election, you're going to win the election. So those things are there. I noticed some things as well. All the oppositions and the incumbent were invited to a debate, and they didn't all show up. Only the opposition was there. So all these things, put question mark. However, if the masses have said, this is the person we want, it's an opportunity to serve your country. But if the people says you're not the one, where I don't think they should push any further on that. You don't serve the people by force. You need to wait for another opportunity. If the people want you to serve them, the people has the power. They will rise up by themselves and actually make a call. The people can literally decide that we will not let this government that's been enforced on us not work. But a strike was called, and the people are not really responding. I noticed that as well. The opposition called for a strike, but they said the majority of the population did not respond to it. That means a majority of the population are okay with the government that they just elected. So I think, the opposition should go and regroup and should look at ways they forge alliance, with the ruling party to serve the people. We should not fight, in order to serve the people. We should not kill each other to serve the people. I don't think that is proper service.